now time to go slightly off the beaten path and cross that bridge to learn about a subculture I know nothing about, Jawi Peranakan. Apparently, this is the best place to start. A local market where recipes are preserved to pass on to future generations and to remind them of their humble beginnings. Are you feeling this energy? If you haven't been here, it's really because you're either on the tourist route or because you're not a serious eater as you think you are. Because Pasar Taman Sardon is where it's at. Everything we had this morning was a reflection of what we call Jawi Peranakan culture. The thing is, it's a culture that I'm going to deep dive into a little bit, but I don't know very much about. But today with me is Professor Emeritus Dato Sri Wazijahan, who's going to tell me all about it. Starting with, what am I eating here today?
Sarabai is a Javanese word, which actually is sarabi in Java, very popular. And what you have here is a more savory version with a sweet gula melaka sauce. And there's another version which is darker with gula melaka inside.
You're quite right. It's very porous. It's light, fluffy, but filling at the same time.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I'd love to learn more, shall we?
Yeah.
You know, Prof, I've been meaning to try to understand what is Jawi Peranakan.
Yeah. Jawi is an Arab word which means Muslims, basically Muslims of Southeast Asia, and Peranakan is a Malay word which means locally born. So Jawi Peranakan are hybrid communities who are descendants of the early Arab and Indian traders, merchants, even entrepreneurs who used to come to the port cities of the Straits of Malacca.
So, if there's anything I'm really trying to understand, is the core difference between Jawi Peranakan and Mamak culture.
Yeah. Well, the Mamaks are those who have retained most of the Tamil Muslim culture. For example, they'll be speaking Tamil at home, and in their choice of food, they would possibly for breakfast be having roti Bengali and dalcha rather than sarabai like the Jawi Peranakan. Yeah.
So just sitting here allows us to absorb all that when you have a look around and, you know, imagine you're living in the past.
Yes, exactly. This place is steeped in history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I hear that your son's a really good Jawi Peranakan chef.
Oh yes, the Jawi house is just over there, Armenian Street.
Well, that's where I'm going right now, shall we? So Nurul, you're a food fighter, you know, tell me about, you know, what's the most popular Jawi Peranakan dishes that you have?
So what we serve is definitely, we try to highlight more traditional things like the lemuni rice, the ayam roast, cucuk udang, roti surai, sarabai.
Let's define this taste a little bit. What is it that makes Jawi Peranakan food different than Malay food and Mama food?
I see. Alright, so if you come to Penang, obviously you're going to have a more prominent Mama or Indian Muslim cuisine, right? So the difference is basically Jawi Peranakan has a strong foundation of Malay food, but with influences from Pakistani, Arabic, maybe a bit of Indonesian, Turkish, and this has created kind of like a cuisine on its own.
So what am I going to be trying today?
Okay, so what we prepared for you, me and the boys did nasi kacang. So nasi kacang, not actually kacang like kacang peanut. Kacang is kacang parbu. What we call dal.
Okay.
Yeah, lentils. And what goes with the nasi kacang is either beef, but I'll be serving you the ayam roast. Bamia is also one thing that I'm going to make you try. You take lamb, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's a lamb stew cooked with okra and some spices, but it's a tomato base. So it's an Arab Peranakan dish. Very traditional and very indigenous to this part of town. Sometimes, I guess over there in the Middle East, they might eat it with couscous, flatbread, more okra, less meat. Yep. Here, more meat and white bread rather than
As we do in Malay.
as we do. Yeah, roti, and then I guess, yeah, just those few things. You can try some of our drinks, the sharbat. We have some simple desserts as well.
Oh yes! Not only am I excited because I can't wait to dig into this, it smells fantastic. I'm also excited because again, after all the food I've eaten in my life, I'm eating something new. This nasi kacang is, well, probably something I've tasted along the way, but to understand it on a cultural context is so new. And then there's a bamia, which is going to be served with this lovely roti Bengali. Again, something that's quite normal, but at the same time, I'm trying to understand it from a Jawi Peranakan sort of context, and that's amazing. This is what I usually call ayam masak merah, but this is called ayam rose, and the fact that it's got rose water sort of like infused into this is something that I'm quite unfamiliar with, and I can't wait to try it out. So it's fragrant. It's kind of like a fatty rice, like a nasi lemak, but it's got the color. And yes, you do taste, the feel of lentils to it. It's not too overpowering, but it's there. Definitely something prominent. The chicken's very tender. It wasn't what I was expecting exactly, because when I think of ayam masak merah, I think of really, strong flavors. It's so light, it's almost watery, but there's texture to it. It's almost like magic. It's time to move on to the okra. Now apparently, the bamia is best eaten with Bengali bread. That's why it's being served like this. I mean, what a marvelous stew, you know what I mean? Definitely Middle Eastern flavors going on around here. So good. Let's try some of that lamb. That is absolutely divine. I'm just going to take a little bit of okra. As the dish is called bamia, it is an okra-based dish. Its consistency is nice, there's bite to it, there's crunch. At the same time, it doesn't leave that, icky feeling around the tongue, no matter how delicious it is. This combination just makes it so good. I'm gonna try the sherbet. Super yummy. Anyways, let's conclude this experience. First of all, my mind is blown because I can't believe throughout all my life, and a number of times I've come to Penang, I've never had Jawi Peranakan foods. Usually when you think Mama and Malay food, you get pow, you know what I mean? Celebration! Here it's more like celebration, but in a fantastic way because the flavors creep in. Technically, it's so sound. And of course, as I mentioned, Jawi House is not your typical eatery. It is a nice place for you to, for you to dine, and at the same time learn a bit more about the culture. And so there you go. Just when you think you know something, there's always something new to learn. And that's what you're going to get at Jawi House. So if you're ever traveling here in Penang, come check it out. For now, I'm going to dig in.
And the deeper I dig, the more there is to learn. So many crossings of cultures, so many blurry borders, and always enough food to throw me slightly off focus. The people of Penang are warm and friendly. The streets are gushing with history and stories waiting to be told. Be prepared to be taken on a ride. This is a heaven for street food and the generations of hawkers who preserve their family heritage. A place where nature lives alongside art that is larger than life. So much to look out for in just a small island.